Hello, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for watching TCM as we kick off the final Saturday night double feature in October with our star of the month, the big screen robot. And we begin tonight with a monster movie that includes a robotic twist. It's the 14th and penultimate film in the original Japanese Godzilla series from Toho Studios. From 1974, this is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. By 1974, Ishiro Honda, the director of the original Godzilla from 1954, plus 7 of the first 9 sequels, was long gone from the franchise. He had been replaced by a new director, Jun Fukuda, the director largely responsible for turning the post-Honda era of Godzilla films into kids' movies. And that's really the only sensible way to view them today, as children's films. By the 1970s, Japanese kids were into anime, bright colors, and especially robots. The rest of the world would follow. Not long after this picture begins, Godzilla rises from his resting place and begins wreaking havoc on mankind, which he hadn't done for ages. So, it feels good, like playing golf after years away, if golf included taking out a 7-iron and beating other golfers senseless. For some time in the series before Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, Godzilla was a friend, a short-armed monster protector of Earth against lethal alien monsters. So why did good Godzilla suddenly morph back into evil Godzilla? Because it's not really Godzilla at all, but Mechagodzilla, a giant robot monster. A second new monster is introduced in the film as well, King Caesar, who looks like a giant poodle. He doesn't shed, so he's a hypoallergenic monster, the perfect prehistoric monster for sensitive children. One final production note on the film: it was released in 1974, 20 years after Honda's original Godzilla. An entire generation of Japanese adults had grown up watching these sequels. As a salute to all those dedicated fans, this installment brought in a handful of cast members who'd appeared in some of the earlier pictures, including Akihiko Hirata, who played the scientist in the original Godzilla. From 1974, released in the States in 1977, also known as Godzilla vs. the Cosmic Monster. This is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla was released in 1974, 20 years after Ishiro Honda's original Godzilla hit Japanese movie theaters and stunned audiences. This was the 5th and final film in the series, directed by Jun Fukuda, the filmmaker largely responsible for turning the franchise into a series of children's movies. To handle the next and final film in the original Japanese Godzilla series, Toho brought back Ishiro Honda, who shot the original Godzilla, most of the early sequels. Unfortunately, Honda's return to Godzilla became the least financially successful film in the entire series. Coming up, another robotic monster, this time in the form of a young teenage girl in a sci-fi horror film from 1986 directed by Wes Craven. Deadly Friend is next on TCM.